And welcome on in to another episode of Getting Wild with Terry and Friends. I'm Terry, joined by Nick beside me. Occupancy down below. Should have a couple more people coming in here. Um, Trade deadline. Today is the trade deadline day, and there may have been a trade that I was pretty interested in today. Um, I'll let people guess on what that trade could have been. But yeah, what we'll do is we'll start with Nick and occupancy, and then I'll talk trade deadline last. But Nick, uh, NHL trade deadline today. What do you think of it?
Yeah. Mean, I'm trying to remember all the stuff that happened. There's a few nice little pieces here and there. Obviously, you have the top one of the day marked on your background there with Mr. Fleury. I think that's a very good move for the Minnesota Wild because they definitely needed goalie help. Because I think that having him with Talbot, and that I think this is going to help Talbot as well because it's going to kind of set a fuse underneath him and say, "Oh shit, I need to perform better now." Um, and I think this is that's a good move for them. There's a few other spots. I saw the Ducks were selling a little bit. Raquel is now with the Penguins and stuff like that. So I'm gonna look. For me, it's more of who traded players rather than who did these players go to. For me, because I'm gonna look to fade some of these teams that are trading players away. Montreal traded a few players away. They traded Kokkonen away. They traded Kulak away. The Ducks have been selling a few pieces off. I saw the Coyotes a couple pieces. I think Kessel left, as well as there was another one. I don't remember who, but there was a few teams that traded away players. I'm gonna look to fade those teams a little bit, and then we have teams that just like sat and did nothing. So it's gonna be interesting to see. I'm gonna have to digest a little bit more of what happened today and really break those down when I have a second to look at it. But yeah, overall, Wild won the day though so far.
Awesome. Occupancy. What do you think of the trade deadline today? You're wearing your Sharks hat. The Sharks, they got a good goalie. They did. Kakkonen's going to do well for them. That's my opinion. So yeah, what do you think of today's trade deadline?
Yeah, Terry. I give kudos to Minnesota Wild and Bill Guerin and what they're doing over there. Grabbing Kakinen for Middleton, I think is a good swap. You get immediate help on the defense, and you toughen up the whole squad for this last run in the spring and the playoff run. So I think the Wild are really poised to do that. Um, yeah, I think Boston signing Hampus Lindholm is a huge move. That guy plays a lot of minutes. He's familiar with just how to be on the ice for a while and give support to offensive threats, and he can move the puck. And I think he's going to be a great addition to that team to make their run in the East. Um, Giordano to the Leafs, I think, is a big one as well. He provides some immediate back end support for a team also. So those ones I'm looking at, and couple ones also like Cop for the Rangers is going to be great. I think he's a good ad. Um, and yeah,
Wedgwood
some
for the Stars, I think is very
Wedgwood.
underrated.
Yep, I agree with that.
Nick Leddy to the Blues, very
hmm
underrated.
hmm Yeah, and some of the signings. Kotkaniemi got his 8-year deal. DeBrusk got a deal as well. So when we jump into the slate, I've already locked in a play with him, 2 plays actually. So I mean, yeah, this is a wild day, like you guys were saying for the NHL and the trades. So yeah, it'll be cool to get some new faces and new jerseys, and yeah, we'll get ready for this last part of the season here.
All right. So we'll jump right on into the first game of the night here. Boston Bruins minus 235 are in Montreal, facing the Canadiens plus 195, a total of 6. Um, my stats sheet is a little bit different. As you can see, I've now added goalies last 5 record. So basically, we'll look at the goalies' last 5 games, their last 5 starts. Sometimes, like with Jake Allen, you only see 2 games. That's because he was off for a long time before those 2 games. So I'll jump right into it here. Boston 6-1-1 in their last 8 games, 3 over, 3 under, 2 landed on 6. Montreal 2-2-2 in their last 6, 8 over, 0 under, 1 landed on 6. Both teams have been going to overtime. 3 of 8 for Boston, 3 of 6 for Montreal. Boston 29-3 on the road. Montreal 9-18-3 at home. Boston 6-1 in their last 7 trips to Montreal. They've had success in Montreal. 3 over, 7 under, 2 out of 10 went to overtime. Goals for, advantage Boston. Goals against, advantage Boston. Power play, slight advantage Boston. Penalty kill, advantage Boston. Goaltending, advantage Boston. I think it's advantage Boston here. Swayman in his last 5 games, he's 4-1. 905 save percentage, 2.8 goals against. So he's been letting in a few more goals than he was for his season average here lately, but he's still winning games. Jake Allen in his 2 starts since coming back, 1-0-1, 923 save percentage, 2.5 goals against. But tonight he's going to have this Montreal team that's going to have less players on their defense. Boston's had a lot of success in Montreal. I think Montreal is going to get a beating tonight. So officially, I have no single bets in this game. I do have 2 parlays. They both had the Blue Jays money line on them, which already finished 3-1 Blue Jays. One parlay is Boston, Minnesota money line. The other is Boston and reg and Minnesota and reg. So those 2 parlays will go on. I may be adding the Boston puck line here. I just they've had success against Montreal, and this Montreal team. What really do they have to play for? Yeah, they're playing a division rival, but they're playing a division rival that's hot right now, and that can beat them. So I think Boston. I could see this being a potential blowout here. Nick, Bruins, Canadiens. What do you think here?
I'm on the exact same page here for a Boston Bruins blowout here against a AHL team in the Montreal Canadiens. The last few weeks, like for me, I'm a dog hunter. I'm looking to back underdogs, and at the end of the season, here's not the time to do it because this is exactly when we're going to start to see this, where good teams are going to get good. Good teams are getting better, and bad teams are getting worse. We're seeing the Canadiens are going to be sellers, and they've sold off a couple pieces. They already traded away their best defenseman in Ben Sherratt, so it's not like this Canadian team is going to have much firepower at all. So I think Boston takes care of business in this one here. I'm seeing a 4-1 type of game. Boston puck line is one of my favorite plays today.
All right. Well, up next, we went over the trade deadline, and then we're on the first game, obviously, Boston-Montreal. So what did you think of the trade deadline today?
You guys went over the entire slate of the trade deadline? Damn.
Well, we didn't go deep detail, but we just kind of went over some things that we noticed, some things that were good.
Yeah, I'm super stoked, especially what the Avalanche did to acquire really role pieces that are just going to help for the playoffs. Yeah, Minnesota did a great thing with Fleury there. You should definitely be happy. That's an upgrade night and day over both of those goalies that you guys had. You gave out Kakkonen away, but I guess that means he was not going to be the future of your franchise.
Yeah.
So that's kind of evident when you trade a young guy like that. Means
Jesper Wallstedt is the future in the Wild net when he's ready.
There you go.
But Jacob Middleton, he's going to provide some defense, some rough defenseman, which is exactly what the Wild needed. So I do like Kakkonen. Obviously, everyone watching the show or in the group chat knows I'm a fan of Kakkonen for sure. But his issue Yeah, sorry. His issue, I'll let you speak on more, but I forgot to mention this earlier. His issue, he plays really well when Talbot gets injured. Kakinen has to come in. There's a lot of pressure on him. He plays really well. As soon as Talbot comes back and Kakinen's kind of the pressure's not really there as much. He's not like there's Talbot's there as well. He falters. So he's still young, but he's not going to be the long-term future in net. So to get a defensive defenseman for the playoff run, Bill Guerin going all in, I love it. But yeah, continue on, Weapon X.
Yeah, and also you guys typically have a good farm of goalies, anyways, throughout the years. So it's not like you can't generate more goalies. That's one thing. Also, the other team that I thought did quite a lot of trading, which was good for them, was the Rangers.
Yes.
Rangers added quite a lot of pieces because, again, they identify what was wrong with them, and what is wrong with them is their depth on offense, especially, and guys that role players that can carry them in the playoffs a bit. They already have the goaltending, that's for sure. It's a given. Defensively, they're okay. But I think in the Eastern Conference, you don't have to be a big juggernaut defensively to succeed. There's only teams like the Canes, really, that are going to be there defensively throughout the Eastern Conference. They're very solid. Every single other team has a big question mark on defense from where I stand, including the Florida Panthers, which I know they got Giroux, they got a big name, but I find that's not what they needed. They didn't need more offense. Yeah. They really needed a guy like Giordano. I know they got Hag. I know they got Ben Sherratt. Sherratt I like. We'll see where he fits on those three lines though, because they have very similar defensemen. They're not really shut down beats, which they need. They really need a shutdown beat, which they didn't get at the deadline. But yeah, as of that, that's Lehkonen there in the back. Welcome to the Avalanche, baby. Can't wait to see him on the ice on that third line. It would be awesome. This Canadiens Boston spot, for me, I agree. It definitely is a Boston spot just based on recent form right now. The Habs have traded a lot away. Lehkonen out of the lineup already defensively is going to be a big change because they don't have the guy that they can count on for cycling and energy and tight checking and back checking and all that stuff. And already they're pretty bad on that. So I do like Boston to come and smash here. The puck line, I also like the over. I think that's one of the only overs you can still count on going forward. Might be Montreal games just because of the sheer not having a roster.
Yeah, apparently you can get it at 5.5 on some books. So for the over under at the end of the show, one person has already chosen it, and because you can get it at 5.5 at some books, we're going to use 5.5 as a total for this game. So if anybody is interested,
yeah.
Occupancy. What do you think here, Bruins Canadiens?
I like the Bruins here. Absolutely, there's no question about it. Montreal has lost some key players, and now Boston is just going to win this hockey game. I just want to point out a couple games from over the weekend that were also smash spots, over spots that did not hit. Florida at the Ducks was a game that the team total over 3.5 looked easy. The full game over looked easy. The puck line looked easy, which they covered fine. But what I'm saying is a 3-0 win is going to be like a smash. That's like if you win 3-0, if Boston comes in and wins 3-0 tonight, they smash the Canadiens, even though you're not getting 7-8 goals, which I still think could happen. So listen, I'm not going to talk anyone off the over here. But what I am saying is be careful with some of these traditional bets over 6, team totals over 3.5 towards this part of the season, when if the team just wants to clamp down, hold a 2-0 lead, and get to their next game, they're going to do it and win 3-0 or 4-1 or 3. So I'm just giving everyone a warning. I want everyone to be here. Tomorrow, next week, I want everyone to keep betting responsibly and all that. So I've parlayed the Boston money line with the Minnesota money line as a bet here. I've also locked in Jake DeBrusk over 2.5 shots plus money, and I've locked in Jake DeBrusk over to record a point per plus money. Boston has outshot its opponents 119 to 83 in the last 3 games. That's a lot. They're putting up a lot of shots. And DeBrusk is a player who was having a couple contract issues. They weren't sure if they were going to trade him or not. Bergeron's still out. He's on the first line. Bergeron, I checked, put up 5 or 6 shots against this Montreal team in the last meeting. So who's going to go fill in the void? DeBrusk has been really cold in the last 2 games. So I expect that he's now got the deal. He's feeling better. He can go in and play and roll through this Canadiens team.
All right. We'll go on here to the next game. Vegas plus 160 is in Minnesota minus 180. A total of 6.5 in this one. Bring up the stats here. Vegas 2-5 in their last 7 games. 4 over, 2 under, 1 landed on 6. The Wild 4-1-1 in their last 6. So they appear to have turned a corner. 6 over, 2 under, 1 landed on 6. Vegas 16-13-1 on the road. Minnesota 19-7-1 at home. The Wild all-time at home versus Vegas in the regular season 6-0-2. 3 over, 4 under, 1 landed on 6. Goals for, big advantage for the Wild. Goals against, pretty even, slight advantage here for Vegas. Penalty kills, slight advantage for Vegas. Even power plays. Brossoit is projected. He has an .895 save percentage, 2.9 goals against on the season. But however, he's been much worse lately. 1-4 in his last 5. .849 save percentage and a 3.4 goals against. Talbot, 24-12-1, .907 save percentage, 2.92 goals against in his last 4 games. .906 save percentage and a 2.5 goals against and 4 wins. What can I say about this game? The Wild acquired Marc-Andre Fleury today. They also acquired Middleton. Both of those players will not play tonight, but Marc-Andre Fleury will be on the bench as a backup. This Wild arena, the X, is going to be going nuts tonight. The Wild feed off, as Alex Smith said on the Ice Guys today. He'll be at the game. I'm super jealous of him. The Wild feed off the crowd's energy. The crowd is going to be electric tonight. It's already great games playing against Vegas. Now we have Marc-Andre Fleury in the building. This is going to be an intense game. And the Wild are going to come to play. I think Talbot's going to come to play. Yes, the Wild acquired Fleury, but I do not think Talbot is just going to say, oh, okay, well, I'm done. Obviously, I'm not going to play anymore. No, he's going to come out here and he's going to try and show that he is the goalie that should start in the playoffs. He's won 4 games in a row. He's played well. So, yeah, obviously, I am on the Wild here. No big surprise. As I said, I have them in both my parlays, 1 in regulation, 1 on the money line. I also have 1 unit on the Wild in regulation. I have half unit on Kaprizov to score. I have a quarter unit on Kaprizov over 3.5 shots. He's been averaging 3, 4, 5 shots a night. And he loves to play against his Vegas team. He scored some beautiful goals against his Vegas team. So I think the Wild is the play here. Nick, what do you think here? Golden Knights and Wild.
Yeah, I didn't have too much of a feel on the side here. I don't know if the Vegas Golden Knights are that bad to be plus 155 underdogs. So I think on the money line, there may be a slight little bit of value here with the Knights. I'm leaning a little bit more towards the under more than anything in this game. I'm not betting this game at all, though. This was, I think, the only game of the night I just didn't bet. It's a lean towards the under. It's a lean towards the Knights if I had to bet a side, and it's a pass for me.
All right. Weapon X, Golden Knights against the Wild. What do you think here?
Yeah, in principle, the Wild should smack the spot, especially with what's missing in Vegas. I don't know if they will. I don't know. You're saying Talbot should bounce back and show that he's the one, but the fact that they went to get Fleury is definitely in the back of his mind that he is not going to be the number one. That's why they brought in Fleury, to be the number one, to get you guys far in the playoffs. Because he's been in the playoffs, he's won cups before, and as much as he would like to be the guy, the coach decides who the guy is in nets. And
I just feel he's gonna come in and he's gonna be motivated. He's not gonna just roll over and give up. Like he's gonna come in here still motivated to play, is what I think.
And there's another thing here that kind of makes me want to stay off this game, and we've seen it with Dallas yesterday against Washington. These are teams that are desperate for a playoff spot. They're still fighting for playoff spots. Flower dies in the wild. Flower dies in the wild. I mean, depends on the flower, yo. It really depends on the flower. But let's get back to this game. Yeah, we've seen Dallas yesterday play lights out. Ottinger was on point, and again, this Vegas team, they're still hoping for a playoff spot, and they're fighting for it. So I think the next 12 games across the NHL, especially when you have two teams that are in playoff hunt or in the playoffs, there's not going to be any easy type games. If it would be any lean for me actually here, I know everybody's all over the over, but I would see probably an under here, under 6.5, maybe a 4-1 game, a 3-1 game for the Wild. But it's going to be a lot more competitive than the probably final score will suggest. So that's why for me, I'm just off it. I don't know what to expect defensively from you guys and Talbot. So that's the reason why I'll definitely be on props. If there's one thing that I'll be on for the rest of the season is props, and certain props will be a 1-unit play for me because it literally saved my ass last night from the dog shit that we saw with the Canucks and the shitty games that we've seen. And that's the reality of it. Books are not going to adjust. Books are actually going to just lay that juice. And if you're really going to want to bet something, you're going to have to bet the juice. So.
All right. Is Eichel out? I'm not 100% sure. Not 100% sure. I think
he played last game.
He did, yeah. Okay, yeah. So he
has nothing on him.
But Vegas will still be without Stone. They should still be without Pacioretty. Is he playing? I'm not sure. But they have a lot of injuries, and Wild are completely healthy as well.
Yeah, Pacioretty, Martinez, McNabb, Stone, Riley Smith, Nicholas Hague.
Yeah, so that's a lot of injuries. Occupancy, Golden Knights and the Wild tonight. What do you think here?
Yeah, I mean, Weapon X said it well. I mean, there are no easy games, and Vegas is fighting for a playoff spot. So I don't expect Minnesota to just roll in and have an easy win. I don't think that's going to happen. So the angle I went with it was to get a closer look at even money for the team total over 3.5 for the Wild. Brossoit, if he is going to be in net, his last few games, he's let up 4, 4, 2, and 4. So he comes in and he's not a perfect goalie, right? We're not going to be seeing a 0 or 1 for him. And then the Wild, yeah, with all that energy, like I do expect them to come out and play great hockey tonight. I think they're going to get goals. Just where I was looking for value, that's where I landed on for this game, but mirroring most everything of what was said before. You guys covered most of it.
All right. Does it hurt at all that you picked up a shithawk, Terry? When I look at Fleury, I do not see a shithawk. When I look at Fleury, I see a Pittsburgh Penguin. and I see a goaltender that eliminated my Wild in the playoffs last year. That's what I see. And he will hopefully not be eliminating the Wild. Hopefully he'll actually help us this time.
Was that Turnsey?
Yeah, that was Turnsey, yeah.
I don't know why Turnsey is talking. His fucking team blew a 2-0 lead against the fucking Kraken. You guys have gotten lit up like fucking over 6 goals. I don't know how many freaking times. It even hurts my head that I actually backed you guys up. Like, I can't believe I was that drunk. But go on.
he was just asking a question, but yeah.
It's okay. Thursday knows I jab at him, he jabs back at me. It's all good.
All right, so we'll see what happens going forward with that. We'll jump into actually Nick has to go, right, Nick?
Yeah. Oh wow, I totally forgot what time it was. Yep.
So just quickly give us the 2 games, and I'll give your best bets at the end.
Oilers team total over and the Preds and reg. All
right. Thanks for coming, Nick. See you later. Have a good one. So up next we have Edmonton in Colorado for this one. Plus 155 for the Oilers, minus 175 for the Avalanche. Total 6.5 in this one. I'll take this off for a second. Edmonton 5-0 in their last 5 games, 4 over, 1 under. Colorado 4-2 in their last 6, 3 over, 3 under. Obviously, Colorado 24-3-3 at home. They have the far superior home record versus Edmonton's road record. Edmonton 4-2 in the last 6 trips to Colorado, 4 over, 1 under, 2 landed on 6. Goals for, advantage Avs. Goals against, advantage Avs. Power play, slight advantage Oilers. Penalty kill, advantage Oilers. But when it comes to goaltending here, we have 2 completely different goalies. Smith, 6-8-1, 895 save percentage, 3.39 goals against. Is 1-4 in his last 5 with a 868 save percentage, 3 goals average a game. Kemper, 923 save percentage, 2.41 goals against on the season. However, in his last 5 games, he has a 951 save percentage and a 1.6 goals against. Currently on a 2-game shutout streak. And he's 2-2-1 in his last 5. For me, in this one, I like the Avalanche. I do. I know some people like Edmonton tonight. I do not. I like the Avalanche here with the goaltending. With Kemper. Kemper has been awesome lately. I think there should be goals in this. But with how Kemper's been playing, I don't want to go near the over in this one. For me, I did not get to anything yet in this one. Actually, I do have Colorado team total over 3.5. My team total parlay. I'll give that out now. I went 2 alternate totals. So I went Boston team total over 2.5. Minnesota team total over 3.5. Colorado team total over 3.5. And then Nashville team total over 2.5. Plus 474 for that. So I think Colorado gets 4 goals on Mike Smith. And that's basically all I have to say in this game. I wouldn't know which way to go with the total. Occupancy, Oilers, and Avs. What do you think here?
I have not bet this game yet. The Oilers have just played a really great homestand, and I think they're making a run, and I think they're a buy team, as people say. But I don't think I can buy them tonight when they go to Colorado. So I'll look on the Edmonton calendar, though, and probably go money line for their next game for sure, because Edmonton, I'm not going to just they're a great team still. Yeah, but at the same time, so with that, and then still the Avs playing really well, do I take an Avs and reg or an Avs puck line? Not quite sure. So with that, I'll look towards the player props and get to that bin. But yeah, I mean, hopefully this is a great game. That's it for me here. Pretty simple.
All right, Weapon X. The Oilers' 5-game winning streak are coming into town to face your Avalanche. What's going to happen tonight, in your opinion?
Fuck, I forgot to get a Mike Smith GIF photo in the back, but it is what it is. He is booty. He's gonna get clapped tonight. That's all I'm gonna say. You can do whatever you want with that information. I'm gonna keep rolling with the Avs puck line, which has been cashing for me all season long, especially at plus money. Yes, Edmonton has 5-game win streak at home. They've played a struggling Lightning team, and then they played the 3 really bad defensive teams in Detroit, Buffalo, and New Jersey. And then when they've played away against elite teams, Calgary, they lost against Calgary. They even lost against the Shithawks. Carolina, they lost in Tampa, even though they beat Tampa at home. Yeah. Don't believe in this team. They have 2 players. You take those 2 players out of the equation, it's OD. They ain't got nothing else. Mike Spittin is gonna be a war zone for him tonight. So for me, there's another play that I'll be taking is probably the team total for the Avalanche in first period over 1.5 at plus 195. I like the Avs to get at least 2 in the first period here at home.
All right. Well, I have the Avs team total over 3.5 on my parlay, so the more goals the Avs score, the better. I'm totally fine with that. We will jump right on to the last game of the night. Nashville minus 180 are in Anaheim plus 160. A total of 5.5 in this one. No confirmation for the Predators goaltending as of yet. They do play again tomorrow. So no confirmation yet on who's in net. The Preds 6-2 in their last 8, 5 over, 3 under. Anaheim 0-4-2 in their last 6, 3 over, 3 under. Pretty even road/home records for Preds and Anaheim. The Ducks 8-1 in their last 9 games at home against the Predators. Nashville has heavily struggled in this building for whatever reason. 6 over, 2 under, 2 landed on 6. 4 of 9 went to overtime. The total is 5.5 in this game. 8 over, 2 under in the last 10 games. Goals for, advantage Preds. Goals against, advantage Ducks. Penalty kill, advantage Ducks. Power play is pretty even here. Gibson, 17-19 on the season, 906 save percentage, 3.05 goals against. However, in his last 5 games, he's 0-4-1 with an 874 save percentage and a 3.8 goals against. So he's been playing worse as of late than on the season average. For me, in this one, I took the over 5.5. What else can be said? I don't think this should be a 5.5 in this game. I think we're going to see goals. So that's my opinion here. Occupancy, Preds and Ducks. What do you think here?
Yeah, I watched basically the whole Ducks-Panthers game, and the way that game went was the Panthers were looking to just tear them up, light them up, and the Ducks were kind of holding a little bit. They weren't giving up as many chances, as Florida thought they could be getting, and the game ended 3-0. I was on the over in that game. It happens, So I kind of smell a similar game tonight. We'll see. I mean, the Ducks are still, people just keep shipping out, but they're trying. It's not like they're laying down. So I think with them being frustrated from getting shut out last game, they could find a couple to go in, especially if it's not Saros in net. So value minus 120 for Nashville and Reg, the over 5.5 also is where I'm looking. And then for people who like player props, never taking away anything from the bargain bin. I go there pretty much every game with every other team. But Nashville, I don't. Nashville, I stick with Duchesne. He's on a 9-game point streak. And in those 9 games, he's had over 2.5 shots, 6 of them. So I think he's going to keep that rolling tonight, even with a look ahead tomorrow, because they're playing the Kings tomorrow. So that's like going to be a good game. And maybe they aren't putting their foot down on the gas too much, but I still think he's going to get some looks. But you can't get him for just 1 point anymore. You'd have to do 2, and I'm not going to do that. I don't have, that roller experience quite yet to be betting over 1.5 points. But I'll take over 2.5 shots at -120 for him, and then throw him on anytime goal scorer. I'll do that right now. But yeah, I mean, you know what this game is. You know these teams are. That's it for me.
All right. Up next, Preds and Ducks. What do you think here?
Oh, not me. Yeah, Preds, puck line. That's all I'm gonna take in this game, and I'm gonna roll with that. I think the Ducks have regressed to what they should be. They're a young team that don't have a lot of experience. I don't even know if Getzlaff is back in the lineup. If he's not in the lineup, that definitely does not help with their creativity on offense. They're soft on defense. They turn the puck over. John Gibson has been gassed for most of the season. He's played a lot of hockey in the last 3 seasons, guys. John Gibson has been one of the goalies that has been shelled the most with pucks. And for me, I just like the Preds to roll here, probably get maybe 2-3 goals and then just kind of like shut it down. I don't care that Rittich is in nets for them. It doesn't. It doesn't.
He's confirmed?
Rittich is confirmed?
No, I'm asking you. Is he confirmed?
No, but I'm saying
most likely. I think some people are predicting it will be because
either or, because I think Saros is still the better goalie, but even Saros hasn't been playing very well lately. We've seen it against Philly. He gave up a bunch of horrible rebounds. He's been giving up rebounds throughout the season. Very uneven play from him. So I won't count on him to kind of cover the puck line. I'll just count on a very hot Preds offense and really bad Ducks defense, which just lost Hampus Lindholm, Manson, huge guys defensively. So probably Forsberg to kind of keep the lights going on as a goal prop is also going to be a look for me here if it's not too juiced. You should definitely get on the board with that Duchesne line. It's been on fire.
All right. We'll go on to the next segment, starting with Dog of the Day. And I will bring up the current standings. And I will announce the Dog of the Day picks. So for me, nothing. There's no dog that I like on the card tonight. Nick went with Edmonton. Occupancy, you went with Edmonton. Melissa went with Edmonton. Toller chose Vegas. And Nathan and DJ did not send one in. Weapon X, is there a dog of the day that you like today?
Nope. I like to be a home sweep here for sorry, not a home sweep, a favorite sweep for tonight. It is what it is. It's that time of the season where the best teams come out and prove that they're the best teams. That's it.
All right. That's why it's optional. Over, under. I am going with the total on this one. Nashville, Anaheim, over 5.5. I like that one. Nick went with Edmonton, Colorado, over 6.5. Occupancy, Nashville, Anaheim, over 5.5. Melissa went with Boston, Montreal, over 5.5. Nathan went with Nashville, Anaheim, over 5.5. And DJ went with Minnesota, Vegas, under 6.5. Weapon X, is there a total that you like for tonight?
Personally, see, I won't be even touching a total for tonight, so I'll just stay off it again. Um, I do see leans on the over in the Preds game. Definitely see an over, and in the Bruins game, I see an over. But that will depend how many goals can the opposition put, like the Ducks or the Canadians.
All right. Well, yeah, you're in first place for over under, so no reason to push it if you don't want to. We'll go on to best bets, best parlay pieces here, and then I will scroll down. For me, Minnesota and regulation shouldn't be too much of a surprise. Let me get this up here. Minnesota and regulation for me. Parlay piece, I'm going Minnesota team total over 2.5. Nick went with Boston minus 1.5. And parlay piece, Boston money line. Occupancy, Minnesota team total over 3.5. Boston money line. Melissa, Minnesota in regulation. Boston money line. Toller, Nashville in regulation. Boston money line. Nathan, Nashville in regulation. Boston money line. DJ, Boston, Marchand over 3.5 shots on goal. And he went with Nashville money line as his parlay piece. Weapon X, a lot of people liking Boston on the money line for parlay piece tonight. What are you thinking here for a parlay piece and best bet?
For the best bet, it's really a toss up for me. It's going to be one of the puck lines. Avs at home or Nashville on the road. You know what? Give me Avs at home puck line. That should be at plus 140. There we go.
Plus 140.
Plus 140 puck line that one.
And parlay piece?
And parlay piece, let's go in with
McKinnon to score a point. It works pretty well.
I mean, hey, he is a generational talent. He comes out every day. He does his thing. McCart too. So give me McCart to get a point tonight.
All right. McCart to score a point. All right. That is the show. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. We're here Monday to Saturday, 4:30 p.m. Eastern. Baseball is right around the corner. Most likely what's going to happen with baseball, we'll do a show between 3:30 to 4:30, maybe 3:30 to 4:15. And we'll go over 5 or 6 of the games each day. Might change the time for the days where there's a lot of afternoon games. Might do an earlier show, but stay tuned for that. Baseball's right around the corner. Best of luck to everybody tonight. Smash the like button, hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you back again tomorrow for another episode of Getting Wild with Terry and Friends. Have a good one, guys.
Peace. Mike.